Alright, did you come up with any ways to fix this? And do you even know why or what kind of part I would use that I would have something bending like that? Where it would go ahead and cross like that? Okay, so I'm going to start here at the beginning. Um, I want to see if you could create that, which if you did, that's great. But then I wanted you to see if you could shade it so you could show your edges and see what it looks like. Now, um, what type of parts, what would happen if the profile were raised another inch taller? You saw that it would bind here in that corner. But could there be parts where it would bind like that? Did you think of any? Uh, think of like seals. When I was at Boeing, I did a lot of foam seals. The seal would bend like that. If you were to bend it tight, it would kind of just crinkle right at where you're bending it real tight, which is fine for the rubber seal. A foam seal, rubber seals, they're going to do that same thing. They're going to bind like that. But if I were doing a machine part, I would want those vertices to go straight up and down. Um, the way the vertices are set up right now, it's going to control the NC toolpath to drive the cutter perpendicular to this profile, which could cause the head of the tool fixture, or the head of the tool on the CNC to smash back into the part. So if I were building this part, what I would probably do is lock the vector of the axis to go straight up and down. So I take a ball and mill and just go straight up and down this instead of following the curve perpendicular to the profile. I would have it just go straight up and down. So in other words, I want these vertices, these lines here, they're called vertices. I want all my vertices to go straight up and down. So again, the types of parts that would have vertices like this are going to be for like foam, rubber seal. I don't really care about it. But if I'm machining something, or it's just getting too tall, even if it were rubber, sometimes I just would make it go straight up and down just so it'll work. I don't really care if it gets overly bunched up in there on a foam seal. But on a machine part, we definitely want to go straight up and down, and it might just need to be done just so you can get a representation of that seal that you're putting in there. So profile control type, did you even notice this? When I went into here, I'll delete this out and recreate it. Whoa, what did I just do? Holy cows. Let's delete this out. Put this back up here, visible. When we did a rib, we selected this profile, this rib, said OK, and then the NC group says, hey man, I can't machine this. These need to be straight up and down. And people say, well, that's just how CATIA does it. But you got to look at all the options. So when I create the rib, grabbing this contour and this the profile and this contour, the type of angle that is that keep angle under the profile control in the pop-up window. If I hit preview, you see that these are being controlled by this curve, and it's staying perpendicular to this curve. That's why when it comes up to here, it starts to round back up and go straight up and down again. But I can change that keep angle to pulling direction. Pulling direction allows me to decide how I want those vertices to go. In which direction do I want to go? So instead of going normal, I'm going to hit pulling direction. And I like to just grab an edge if I can. See how sometimes it doesn't let you grab the edge? I got that edge in this case, and that means that these vertices are going to go in the same direction as this edge right here, which is going straight up and down. The other option is you could have right clicked, went to wireframe and selected the Z vector. So all I'm going to do is control those vertices so they go straight up and down rather than going perpendicular to that curve. So I go to the Z vector or select that edge. And when I hit preview, notice that these vertices are able to go straight up and down. And then if I wanted to change that seal and go up 3/4 of an inch, which I couldn't have done in the other example, we're not going to have any issues. Alright, so the lesson learned here is for this example, I just changed the profile control. What did I change the profile control so that it would go straight up and down? And why again did I make you go vertical? Okay. One is, even if my foam seal was 0.75 tall, I could just make it, even though it wouldn't really do this, because it would really bind in the corners, but CATIA won't let you build it. So you can just use this as a representation of the foam seal. And this will work almost every time. And then for the NC programmers, they can machine it so it'll go straight up and down. So their tool axis isn't going all over the place, going perpendicular to the profile. Okay, so hopefully you saw the difference from when I changed it to 9/16 in this example, and then I changed it all the way up to 3/4 of an inch. I'm still able to do it, so I can go as tall as I want there. Alright, just for kicks though, I don't like it. It looks too weird so tall, so I'm just gonna hit undo, put it back at 3/8 of an inch and exit out. Alright, so that's the rib command and the different profile types. Your next attempt will be to build something like this. How did I get this to do that?